one
está en público.
120 watt hypercharge, 120 Hz AMOLED display, and unique features such as magnetic pop-up triggers. It certainly lived up to its name. But don't just hear from us. We were super happy to hear from our good media friends, calling it an absolute beast, one of the
1, 2,
best
3,
gaming phones around. And to point out, even if users don't game, it's still a great flagship phone. And of course, being a hardcore gaming flagship, our fans absolutely loved what we brought into the POCO F4 GT. It's always a proud moment for us at the team here at POCO to see comments that they really enjoy our latest devices. Now, we did realize during our launch of the POCO F4 GT, we saw a lot of fans asking this question. Where is POCO F4? As our base model for the F series, POCO F3 from last year was one of the best performance to value device on the market. It truly represented of everything you need, nothing you don't. And when we take a look back at POCO F3 and then look at the current smartphone market, in recent years, the ranges of smartphone has really broadened from entry level that meets the basic mobile needs with a few advanced features to mid-rangers that offers few flagship features with great value. Then we enter the quasi-flagship, which is usually a specialist in one area, such as performance focus or camera focus. Then we have flagship, which is one of the most interesting segments as tech is getting more and more advanced. Real-life usage doesn't necessarily always require the latest and the best anymore. And lastly, the super flagships, where companies offer the latest and most advanced technology, such as the foldable phones, the Ultras, that usually cost big bucks. For us, today, here, our POCO F number model, we want to define the modern flagship benchmark. What does it take to become a flagship in 2022? We actually believe it's no longer about the latest and the best of everything. In fact, what you need is a strong processor, a fast and vibrant display, great all-day battery life, premium look and feel, and a great daily camera. It has to meet all of these areas, not 2, not 3, but all of it. So today, we will introduce the modern flagship benchmark. Introducing the POCO F4. Another F-series legend arrives today. POCO F4, aiming to be the flagship benchmark, it has to have all the strengths. Compared to the previous F-series models, the F4 is more all-around than ever before. So we start with performance. To be a flagship benchmark, at the very core of it,
pues esta la
has
presentan.
to
¿Cómo se
be
escucha?
flagship performance. We have to be very
Ya
strong
que
in
estás
it.
ahí.
But first, we have to take a look at what do people look for in a flagship performance. It's a number of things. Top-end SoC, advanced RAM and ROM, and most importantly, in my opinion, sustainable power. Which is why, for our POCO F4, we will be bringing back the Snapdragon 870. With it being one of the best processors among the market yet, it can still handle any task you throw at it. And a couple of reasons of that is 3.2 gigahertz as its prime core frequency, which means it's still the highest in the market. It can provide performance quickly and handle heavy tasks. It is still a very advanced manufacturing process at 7 nanometers, along with advanced 5G network capabilities. But if we break it down a bit more further, why do we keep the 870? One of the main reasons is the Snapdragon 870 was wildly popular with the POCO F3.
Okay.
It was loved by users, fans, and the media. It was a hit, and I rarely saw any negative comments about this chipset. And of course, the biggest reason is Snapdragon 870 is still one of the most powerful and power-efficient processor in the market. Among Android processors, it still ranks top, which is still very impressive. More than enough for real-life usage. And when we tested the POCO F4 out on battery efficiency, we did it against its big brother, Snapdragon 888.
Buenos días,
In every
Oscar.
no matter if you're gaming,
Aprovecho este
any
directo
entertainment,
para
Snapdragon 870
atenderles dudas.
top
La verdad
while
es
using
que
less power.
tengo
We
poco
still
o
want
nulo
to
interés
improve
en la
performance
presentación.
even more so. Improving sustained peak performance on the POCO F4. We've installed
Liquid Cool.
technology 2.0, which is one of the best liquid
Buenos
cool
días,
solutions we have
Oscar.
within all of our product lineups.
Aprovecho este directo
It's a
para
massive upgrade compared to our
atender
last
las dudas.
generation.
La verdad es
With a
que
vapor chamber
tengo
400%
poco
bigger than the last
interés
one in
en
the POCO
presentación.
F3. It can
¿Alguien
cool
más
the
escucha
phone
doble?
faster
Porque los
and
demás dicen que
push out
escucha
even more
100% bien.
which means when it comes to heavy tasks for longer period of time, it does great performance. Now let's take a look at a gaming benchmark. It's a massive upgrade. Now with the combination of a flash processor
Yo tengo el
and
tensor
liquid cool
de
technology
Google Bro
2.0,
y
we tested out on how well it
estoy muy a
performs
gusto.
in a
¿Más
battle
escucha
royale
doble?
game.
Porque
Free
los demás
Fire.
dicen que escucha 100% bien.
Under 90 FPS high graphics setting, we were able to hit a very consistent
Ya, ya
frame
hay problema.
rate while playing for
Ahí deben
about
escucharlo
100 minutes.
bien.
100 minutes, and you're getting consistent frame rate. Super impressive. So when we come back to this, featuring the Snapdragon 870, LPDDR5 RAM, and UFS 3.1 ROM, and liquid cooled technology 2.0, this is what we mean by strengths in performance. We've got great speeds, sustainable power, and great multitasking.
Ya no debería escucharse el eco. Digo, en
So the
teoría.
benchmark is here. It's flagship chipset, flagship cooling, and flagship multitasking elements. That makes up what we believe is the benchmark performance of a modern flagship. And while we're on the subject of power, let's take a look at battery. In 2021, when we launched the POCO F3, it was crowned at the end of the year as #1 battery life champion by GSM Arena's smartphone buyer's guide.
De
Now,
hecho, el
for those who
tensor de
remember,
Google
It came with a
no se
4,520 milliamp
calienta
battery with 33-watt pro
nada.
fast charging. Now, it's not the top battery in terms of size or charging speed, but because it was paired with such a power-efficient processor, it beat out every other competitor. So this year, we come back again with a 4,500 milliamp battery in the POCO F4. Where under moderate usage, it's still a 2-day battery life, which is very impressive.
No le
Now,
hagan
the one
caso a
area
la
we made more
presentación.
changes this year
Es pura publicidad,
charging.
realmente.
on the POCO F4, where it brings 67-watt turbo
67
charging
watts ahora.
technology, a flagship level technology where it can really boost your charging speeds even more so than before. So in our POCO F4, we're providing
Hola,
a big
Dan
battery
Tarts.
and a
Todo
67-watt
bien.
turbo charging. I would say this is a sweet spot combination. To charge up to 100% is pretty quick. It only takes 38 minutes to charge up to 100%. So for those users that have battery anxiety, now you'll be stress-free from that. And compared to our last generation, which featured basically the same battery size and 33-watt fast charging, the POCO F3 charges up to 100% in 52 minutes.
Ay, güey,
We have
quité
now
la-
improved that to 38 minutes in the
Chat.
POCO F4,
Ahí está.
nearly 30% in improvement. And after charging it to 100%, the POCO F4 also lasts very long. With multiple of hours of entertainment in each full charge you get, you're set. So for our users, 4,500 milliamp and 67-watt turbocharging could really be that sweet spot combination. And from what we think, without compromising our size or charging speed, this is a flagship level charging combination. This is our benchmark of a flagship battery. So we finished talking about the processor.
Dicen que el
the
Sharp
cooling, the
nuevo suena
battery,
mejor que
and
el Asus
charging.
ROG.
The
¿Quién?
POCO F4 clearly has the
¿Quién,
strength of
Guillermo?
a power of a flagship device.
Ese dicen, la neta,
But with all these powerful
no me hace
parts,
tan
you may be
galayo.
wondering, is it going to thicken the phone and affect how the phone look and feel? I can tell you with full confidence, we're very much strong in design. Because even with all those components, our POCO F4, it's super thin. Only a 7.7 millimeter, making it still our thinnest POCO smartphone yet. And it only weighs 195 grams. So the overall feel of this device is very light and very comfortable to hold. But other than feeling good, we gotta look good. Let's check out the color options of the POCO F4. First, we have the POCO F4
Negro
in night
noche.
black. This is our latest
Me
night black
encantan.
with a glass finish.
Lo que más
and
me gusta de las
dashboard lighting
presentaciones
It's got that
es
stealth, yet
como siempre
classy
tienen
feel
un
to it.
nombre para el color, ¿no?
Then we have POCO F4 in Moonlight Silver,
Azul
which is
cobalto.
the definition of elegance. Silver is such a hard color to get right, and with the POCO F4, we did it. And lastly, a nebula green
Nebula Green.
on the POCO F4. And I love this color, especially with this whole scene behind it. It's a mixture of edgy, classy, and cool. So these are 3 new colors for our POCO F4. Stunning options for you to choose from. Now, my personal go-to color for the F4 is actually Moonlight Silver. I think it's one of those colors that I can never really get tired of. It looks good all the time. Now, after checking out the backside of the POCO F4, let's see the front. Featuring on the display is a 6.67-inch large screen that is our favorite size for any sort of entertainment. If you're a big screen lover, this is a great choice for you already. And the layout of the screen is a centered punch hole design in the middle. With this punch hole, we aim to offer the most immersive and non-obstructive viewing experience for our users. So this tiny dot in the middle is actually only 2.76 millimeter in size, making it one of the tiniest dot display in the whole market.
Sí, ya todos sabemos, Gap, esos
But
teléfonos
besides it
que
being a
van a
big
pasar
display,
con
we
puro
still
hype,
remain
y
a
ya que se
strong
acabe el
flagship
hype,
level
nadie
display
los va a pelar.
that features
Muy común.
fan favorites such as 120 Hz refresh rate, E4 AMOLED, and lastly, 360 Hz touch sampling rate. Your daily viewing experience, no matter if it's just scrolling through menus, apps, video watching, the experience is up there with all the super flagships. This is a display setup that sets the benchmark of a flagship device. So as a flagship display, we're not only fast and clear in quality, we're bright and colorful. 1,300 nits peak brightness and 5 million to 1 contrast ratio, along with DCI-P3
Comparte el director
100%.
Remberto.
We ensure
Dejen
this
su
is one
like.
of the best AMOLED display in the smartphone market, and certainly in this segment. And to push out optimization on this display even further, we do support True Color HDR10+. And recently, we were able to get Dolby Vision certification on our POCO F4 display. Let's take a look at a video.
¿Qué pasó con su edición especial de Técnica Rojos? Empezó a derruir el simicuero. ¿Qué es lo que me pasó con unos? No. Para nada. Están perfectos. Ay, mira qué bonito. Hay más a la historia. ¿Más?
Shocking quality. And to pair with such a good display, on the bottom and top
Dual
of the
speakers.
phone, we feature powerful speakers. So you can feel the force of how loud the volume can get and the quality. And when it comes to audio quality, we also verified ourselves with Dolby Atmos, high-res audio, and high-res audio wireless that works in harmony with our dual speakers. This is a true great audio experience on the POCO F4. So to sum up the overall design experience on the POCO F4, we have 3 amazing
Puro
colors for
queso,
you to
güey.
select from. A display that is absolutely on the level of any flagship on the market, featuring E4 AMOLED, 120 Hz refresh rate, and a ton of optimizations and verifications. An audio that pushes quality to its boundaries. And with all of those features, our POCO F4 gives our users a flagship look and feel and a great viewing experience. This is how design and display experience should be for a modern flagship benchmark in 2022.
High res, muy importante, el Dolby Vision.
And lastly, we do have
Y
camera.
vamos a ver unas fotos
Yes, strength in camera. Now,
óptimas.
camera has always been one of our weaker components in the past. However, today, we're confident that we have reached a higher level. First, we have a triple camera setup on the POCO F4, a 64 megapixel main camera, a ultra wide that supports a 119-degree angle, and a macro camera. A great and standard triple camera setup these days.
Óptimas.
But let's take a look at some sample shots from the 64 megapixel first. Now, we were able to get some great shots during the springtime and summertime. In this photo, with a lot of details in the background, there's still a great amount of clarity. And then we mixed it up with another one, where we put our model in a less bright environment, a more complicated environment. Yet, the details remain so good. The small holes on the wall can be clearly seen, and our models is still very much in focus. even with the shadows and light intercrossing. Now this picture would make a great social media post. Now, we've shown pictures of our main sensors, and they are great. But there's one thing we realize fans have been always asking for. OIS, optical image stabilization, a flagship camera feature for sure. Today, we bring OIS for our users on the POCO F4. It's the very first device in our whole brand where we've brought on OIS. I'm sure some of the fans are very hyped up right now. And for those who aren't sure what the benefit of OIS is, let's check it out. OIS in video mode. That was an awesome video.
Buenos
With
días, Gonzalo.
OIS, you can clearly see how much more stable it is. And OIS is actually even more useful during low light conditions. In this case, in a darker environment, you can see all the details because of OIS. It's not blurry. And if you look closer at the clock in the background and the whole lighting effect, you can see the OIS image is much better. And to go on some other modes, night mode, where you can simply turn on this feature manually, or it can automatically detect the lighting environment around you, capturing low light environment clearly and with great contrast. With the lighting effect here, our model remains the star of the photo, and the lighting just brings her out even more. And ultra wide, when you either want to take a landscape photo or to capture more in the background, it's always a lovely feature to have. There are always some scenarios where you want to capture more because you're in a tight space, right? You can simply turn on ultra wide and you can do it with ease.
Algún metal con marrón.
And from a macro
Son
camera,
similares a los rojos de edición
can
especial.
anyone guess what
La
this is?
verdad, bro,
At
hay
first,
muy
it looks
pocas
kind of cool.
diferencias de los
Looks like
rojos
glass,
que
looks
tengo yo.
fragile. In fact,
los
these are
marrón que
just
compré
normal
también.
glass cups with a diamond cut design.
A grandes
Something so
rasgos,
simple, but it's a very cool shot.
los graves se me hacen
And if you
más
want to take a
destacables
selfie
en
with some
los
friends,
normales.
not just yourself, you
Y
can use
los
the
agudos más
panorama selfie
destacables
mode,
en los
where
B.
you can rotate the phone and let the
Y ya.
software do its magic. I found this function super useful when I'm gathering with my friends
Voy a hablar
outdoors
de ello en la
and we
comparación
can't
cuando
find
revise.
someone to take a photo for us. And this becomes really handy. We can fit all of them. And of course, when there are times where you ask your friend, can you take a cool portrait shot of me? I'm going to make it my new social media profile picture. We also feature portrait mode. That works great no
Bueno,
matter
Marco.
during the daytime or nighttime. Now, when it comes to these two photos, they look super good. But besides those basic flagship
Hola
functions of
Rafael,
a
deje su
camera,
like.
we also have really fun gallery editing functions. But let's make it even better with AI Skyscaping 4.0. Isn't that beautiful? We've brought the aurora into the background. It's a little fun feature where you can change poor weather days into great weather days. With so many options that you can do, it can get pretty creative. Make sure to check this function out. Now, besides changing the sky, we also feature AI Erase 2.0, which is a smart software feature that allows you to erase some of the obstructing objects and make the picture even
¿A quién
better.
le habrán comprado
In this
copiado
case, you
ese
can see the cone in the picture,
borrador?
but after you use AI Erase 2.0, it's gone, making it look so much cleaner. It can do it automatically for you, or you can manually choose what to erase. Very handy. And to check out some video functions, we shot a 4K short video on the POCO F4. Let's check it out.
¿A quién le perdiste?
De un tipo succionándose en un teléfono.
Eso con el poco que no es resistente al agua, ¿verdad?
Now, besides that awesome 4K video, we still have a tons of cool one-click video modes that you can play around with.
Ya ni quien te pelea a ti.
Call it one-click video modes because you can just turn on the function,
Ya ni
click
quien te pelea,
record,
bro.
you know,
Con el tiempo que has
automatically
ganado, que
edit
nadie te
your
pelea.
content and make this effect. This is our POCO F4 camera. It has
Saludos.
great video features and camera features. Also, featuring OIS. A flagship camera for sure. So let's recap everything. The POCO F4 representing all the strengths, meaning we're strong all around. We have strength in performance with Snapdragon 870 and Liquid Cooled Technology 2.0, along with flagship RAM and ROM setup. We have a big battery of 4,500 milliamp and 67-watt turbocharging that charges up to 100% in 38 minutes. All that power in a thin
Todo
design
ese
with
poder.
3 new colors. E4 AMOLED on the front with 120 Hz refresh rate, and to end it all with it, the 64 megapixel triple camera with OIS first
Obviamente,
time being
cuando lo
featured on a
compres,
POCO phone. This is POCO F4.
Al
All the
que
strengths in
será
all
al
areas.
mes,
The
Va a
benchmark of a modern
costar
flagship.
la
We have
mitad.
no weaknesses in any category, while offering flagship experience in every aspect. And now, price. Now I know you guys are excited, but let's take a look at a comparison. We compare ourselves to a similar competitor on the market in terms of spec, and you can see in many areas we're either similar or we're better. But they have a staggering price that starts at 700 euros. Let's take a look at ours. For our first option, the 6 gigabyte plus 128 gigabyte option, we have a
Pues
very
es
strong
que,
price of
¿Qué esperaba?
399 euros. 399 euros for a modern flagship.
No
It's
ha
a
pasado
perfect
tanto
all-around
tiempo como
device.
para
But
que haya un
we
cambio
do have an early
significativo.
bird, and it starts off at 349 euros. Wow. 349 euros. Strong processor, strong display, strong charging, strong look and feel, and camera. This is our finest deal. But
El
for our high variant,
870 no
the
calienta
8
como
gigabyte
los
with
generaciones. Claro que
256
calienta.
gigabyte option, it starts off at 449 euros. So if you have lots of videos or
449
games that you
euros.
want to save on your phone, we definitely recommend this RAM and ROM setup. And it starts off at 399 euros. Below 400 euros, you can get all the strengths of a modern flagship benchmark. So when we come back to this, it's just shocking. While being better in most areas or similar in some areas, we're at half the price. Insane. What an aggressive pricing we have from the POCO F4. And to get the F4, it will
Y
be
lo comparan
first
con el
available on
S20V
June
Exynos.
27th to July 7th, just a few days from now, for these early bird pricing on these channels. If you're in the market for an all-around flagship device without breaking your wallet, this is a choice. Look no further. Don't worry, we do have more channels coming in. Make
¿Soy
sure to
yo o
follow
nos
our
están
official accounts in
vendiendo
your
el
regions to
mismo
stay up to date
equipo otra vez?
of when the F4 will be available on these channels as well. So this is our POCO F4. Every part of it is great. It really has become the majority favorite within the POCO team, and it's tailored for everyone and anyone. Now, we are wrapping up the F series here, but we're not done just yet. We just brought up the modern flagship benchmark. Up next, we have X series. Oh yes, our
¿En
mid-range to
serio va a ser mejor que el
quasi-flagship series.
S21F? Nah.
Now in February, we launched the POCO X4
Nada
Pro
más en
5G,
specs como siempre,
a
bro.
strong
Pero al final
mid-range
de cuentas, la
all-arounder
experiencia de
that gave
usuario,
you incredible specs,
Samsung es mucho
like
mejor.
120 Hz AMOLED, 108 megapixel camera, a powerful 5G processor, and 67-watt turbocharging. It offered flagship experience, which was great for the daily users. However, being, I believe, one of the most beloved series in recent years
Con
by
tanto
fans,
equipo que
they
sacan,
also want to
es
see
muy difícil
flagship
que lleven un
speed
control
in X
de
series.
adecuado de calidad.
So this year, we took out X
Sobre
series
todo en
number
Seoul.
model DNA to flagship experience focused, and XGT DNA to flagship level speed focused. It's tailored to two type of audiences, and we want to fulfill all the ranges. So for those who want speed in X series, we heard you loud and clear.
También está
Today,
lindo
we bring you the
técnica
combination of X
MSR9.
and GT, tailor-made for the
Oh, okay.
gamers and the speed chasers. Introducing our POCO X4 GT, our latest quasi-flagship speedster. Now, remember, I did mention what quasi-flagship is earlier. It's an expert. And X4 GT, it's a device that removes all
El
speed
diseño no me
limits.
gusta.
It is a pure and performance-focused device. So let's get into it. Of course,
Subjetivo.
we're going to start with performance because it's not only the most important for X4 GT, but maybe the most exciting. We'll be giving you one of the most anticipated processor of 2022. Any guesses? Introducing the all-new powerful MediaTek Dimensity 8100 chipset. Yes, it's here. one of the most talked about chipset this year on every social media
¿Alguien de
platform and
ustedes
tech forums.
esperaba ese
so happy to
procesador?
work with
Porque dicen
MediaTek
que
and
lo
bring this
estaban
one on
anticipando
board.
mucho.
Let's check out a video.
Congratulations to POCO on the successful launch of the POCO X4 GT. MediaTek and POCO share a successful long-standing association on several smartphones. And we are taking our collaboration one step further with the latest POCO X4 GT smartphone, powered by our premium MediaTek Dimensity 8100 chipset. The powerful capabilities of our latest Dimensity 8100 chipset enable unique and incredible user experience for POCO fans and the world's young techies. MediaTek Dimensity 8100 is built using the highly advanced TSMC 5nm production process and packing a host of advanced features and the next level energy efficiency. The chipset integrates 4 premium ARM Cortex-A78 cores with speed reaching 2.85 GHz. With MediaTek's HyperEngine 5.0 gaming technologies for exceptional power efficiency and best-in-class frame rates. We are confident that the POCO X4 GT will be hugely popular amongst 5G smartphone lovers who are looking for a blend of innovation, performance, style, and 5G experience that truly stand out. Wishing the POCO team all the very best.
Now, to break down the Dimensity 8100, it's a chipset that runs on the extremely advanced 5nm process. But not only that, it's one made by the world's leading chip manufacturer, TSMC. And when it comes to the CPU, it's a fast and powerful octa-core chip that can truly speed past every task with 4 A78 performance cores, running at an incredible speed of 2.85 GHz, as well as being 25% more efficient than its previous
De cada
generation.
equipo que sale, que tiene una
And
eficiencia
when
de
it comes to
baterías
this
anterior
GPU,
que el
it
otro,
features the all-new Mali's
en teoría,
G610 GPU,
los
which gives
teléfonos
you a
ya no deberían de
30%
gastar corriente
improvement
porque
over last generation
siempre aumenta
in
40,
both
50%.
graphical performance as well as power efficiency. This is a device
Digo,
that's built for high speed and
usamos
high
la lógica, ¿no?
performance tasks like intense gaming sessions. And lastly,
Porque en 2
the
años de sacar
APU,
equipos
which features the APU
han
580
hecho que la
that can
batería,
enhance
bueno, que
visuals
el
and performance with
el
AI processing
consumo sea
by
menor como el 400% ya.
faster than its previous generation. That's insane. Almost 3 times the speed in just 1 year of gap. And it's not just performance and graphics that are fast. Multitasking and storage are also taken to the next level with high-speed LPDDR5 and UFS 3.1 storage on the POCO X4 GT. We want to make sure we can match this amazing SoC, so we offer the best in the multitasking department. With the combo of great chipset and RAM and ROM, we scored an amazing benchmark score, reaching an incredible Antutu score of over 820,000.
Claro, el Tuntu muy importante.
This score
Ahora hay que compararlo con un equipo.
easily makes POCO X4 GT one of the fastest phones on the market. And being so fast, it's actually super power efficient as well. When we compared it to the Snapdragon 888 chipset, which is the competitor in many fans' opinion today, we did the same test earlier, and in every single category, the MediaTek Dimensity 8100 came up on top. Which means this is the speed in X4 GT, featuring one of the fastest and most efficient processor in 2022. But
con el
performance
cochinero que ha
isn't
sido
just about the
Snapdragon,
chipset. In
me
order to push
siento
the
más
limits
tentado a
of
probar
what's
ese MediaTek.
possible, we need everything around the chipset working together to create an optimal
El
environment as well.
Antutu sí.
Which is why we're starting with cooling, and the
Liquid
biggest
cool.
limiter to speed is thermal throttling due to overheating, so cooling is vital to improving speed and performance. That's why we've equipped X4 GT with the advanced liquid cool technology 2.0 as well. So to make sure the X4 GT stays cool, we've given it a 32% larger vapor chamber than the last generation X3 GT, as well as upgrading it to 7 layers of graphite. So POCO X4 GT combines a powerful and energy-efficient processor,
¿Cuántas capas de
super fast
grafito tiene
memory,
que seguir?
as well as an advanced cooling system to bring you incredible speed and performance. Now let's take a look at some gaming benchmarks to see exactly how fast the X4 GT is. Now the X4
Free
GT runs
Fire.
great in Free Fire 90 FPS mode on high graphics settings, and we were able to maintain a stable average FPS of
Aquí te das
89.6.
cuenta para qué lo vas a
That's
usar. güey.
nearly perfect. But while staying only 41.5 degrees, that's a shocking result. But what's even more shocking is we wanted to see how it did against our POCO F4 GT, which uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. They're both GTs. They're both supposed to be really good at gaming.
Hola Dark,
Against
saludos.
its big brother in the F-Series family, it gave a great fight. Similar in FPS and in temperature. This is truly something else. But let's also take a
Ni
look
así,
at
papito.
MOBA games.
Ya, güey, ya basta de ti,
In
güey.
MLBB, we were able to get near 120 FPS for 100 minutes straight on high graphical gaming,
A mí no me
while
compras,
maintaining a
güey.
temperature around 43 degrees. And then when we compare it again, but to the Snapdragon 888, we were getting similar FPS numbers, but we were at an even lower temperature. So overall, the POCO X4 GT is a great device in gaming, and we definitely recommend it to our gaming users. But performance isn't the only way we're going to innovate speed. There's also connectivity and latency, very crucial when it comes to gaming.
Pues lo
X4
creas o
GT
no,
is not only capable
esos
of Wi-Fi 6 and
números,
Bluetooth 5.3, but has also
a la hora que hacen los
reduced game
reviews nuestros
latency by
compa
up to
youtubers
85%
le dan mucho énfasis.
WPH 2.0.
Y la gente que ve
And then
sus
we also
reviews
have redesigned its
siente
antenna placement to improve
que
the connection performance
por
by
eso
up
vale la
to
pena, ¿no?
100%
Ahí está Maluma
to give you
jugando.
the best connectivity
Buenos días,
speeds
Daniel.
possible. So all in all, this was POCO X4 GT's powerful and fast performance. Powered by the amazing MediaTek Dimensity 8100 processor, running on a 5nm process, and 4 performance cores of A78 at the frequency of 2.85 GHz. An all-new GPU, the Mali G610, liquid cool technology 2.0 to keep the device running smooth and cool, as well as lightning fast LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. X4 GT truly takes speed to another level. Next up, display.
Oh, display.
Now on our GT, we've made some groundbreaking moves on display. We're actually giving you POCO's best LCD ever.
Eh,
But we
Ya
don't want to
valió.
just be POCO's best. We're aiming to be the best LCD display on the whole market. First, POCO X4 GT comes with a large 6.6-inch screen, dot display, to give a huge amount of screen space to view all your media. But besides the size of a display, what do we usually look for in a good display? What do we mean when we say we want to be the best? There are two main factors: picture quality and fast response time. So let's talk about picture quality first. Now, this is a display that is able to produce over 1 billion colors. That means smoother transitions for more
Me duele
dynamic
en
and
mi
vivid media
corazón.
experiences.
Mi Alex,
We also
cada
have
vez que dicen
RGB
gamer
pixel
se refieren a un
optimizations.
teléfono
So
y a un
not
gamer de
only is
teléfono.
each pixel capable of more, we've also increased
Gamers
pixel
entre
density,
comillas, bro.
giving you high clarity and detail,
Después es un juego de
especially
verdad y
when
los
you're
hacen
reading off
caca, güey.
text. And having it to be an LCD display, we have an advantage on protecting our users' eyes, which is absolutely crucial. We know how much time we spend on our phones. It's basically the one single object that we all spend time most on. So we've actually enabled POCO X4 GT with blue light reduction at the hardware level, reducing the most harmful wavelengths of blue light up to 30%. But this doesn't just improve comfort, it also means you can get a comfortable viewing experience without the yellowing effect that we've become so used to with the typical software solutions. We want to make sure that all of our POCO X4 GT's users can use their devices comfortably, anytime,
Paper texture.
anywhere. That's
Mhm.
why we're giving you features like True Display, Paper Texture Mode, and DC Dimming. All these features to optimize quality, but also protecting our users' eyes.
Históricamente
of
los
gaming,
iPhones
we
siempre
did
han
a small
sacado
improvement as well.
muchos menores puntos
We
en
improved the
Antutu.
touch resolution by more than 10
Interesante, ¿no?
times the norm, so that your screen will not just display high resolution, but also receive your touch inputs in high resolutions as well. This means higher touch accuracy and smoothness, especially in intense games. Now, talking about gaming, let's talk about how fast this display is. In fact, X4 GT's display is actually POCO's fastest display ever. With an ultra fast, ultra smooth, 144 Hz refresh rate. 144 Hz. Insane. To think that just a couple of years ago, we were still
144
hyped on
hercios
getting
y lo más que
144
logran
Hz
correr
on
son 90
monitors.
frames
And I remember
en
those
Free
being
Fire.
super expensive. Now we have
Pues
brought
bueno.
144 Hz onto our smartphones. And 144 Hz is actually the fastest refresh rate on smartphones yet so far. It gives you amazingly low latency and delay, letting you respond faster and smoother. But how fast is 144 Hz? Let's take a look at a video.
Como que 60 Hz según ellos como
Now,
diapositivas.
we did use a game that supports
Sí, gente que se
144
cree
Hz
esto,
mode on the App Store, Real Racing 3. And we've done some tests with Real Racing 3 on 144 FPS mode to ensure that you not only get these incredible high refresh rates, but they'll also stay stable over long gameplay sessions. But the biggest worry with high refresh rate is battery drainage. If my screen is going to go so fast, will my battery die really quickly as well? Don't worry. POCO X4 GT also comes with 7-stage dynamic switch, letting it optimize your refresh rate between apps to give you the best experience at all times, while extending battery life. This is a super smart function. Now, to give you guys a better idea, we did take a sample video, and let's check it out. So we talked a lot about how X4 GT has one of the most advanced LCD displays on the market. So let's compare with one as well. Going down the spec table, we
Yeah,
match
yeah,
or
yeah.
surpass the competition in nearly every single category.
Siempre con specs.
So this was POCO X4 GT's incredible display, one of the best LCD displays on the market. Actually, I want to say this is the best LCD display on the market. No one has done this much optimization on LCD before, and we want to be the first, giving you incredible picture quality with 1 billion colors, RGB pixels, DCI-P3, color gamut, and Dolby Vision support, as well as one of the fastest display in the market with 144 Hz refresh rate and
Todo esto que
7-stage
están diciendo
dynamic switch,
en
giving
la
you that
presentación,
smooth and seamless
les
experience
adelanto que va a
without
ser
sacrificing battery
el
life.
review del teléfono.
And speaking about battery, let's talk about that next. Battery has always been a very crucial part for our X series. Now, I kind of want to point out, there's been a lot of companies, or a lot of phone companies, especially in the quasi-flagship segment, nowadays are sacrificing battery size to chase the faster charging speeds on the market. But we're not going to do that with the POCO X4 GT. We want to give you a performance-heavy device that will stay performing for longer as well. That's why the POCO X4 GT is actually coming with a 5080 milliamp battery, the biggest battery we put on an X series device yet. That's easily up to 2-day battery life, which is super handy for those who want to stay on the go, but often don't carry power banks with them all the time. And when you do need to charge up, we do support 67-watt turbocharging, a flagship charging speed, and no need to say much here. It's just amazing. And to get up to 100%, we can charge that massive 5080 milliamp battery in just 46 minutes. 46 minutes. In 46 minutes, you get 2 days of usage. A combination that gives you turbo speed charging without compromising battery size. That's the way we do it in X series. To give you guys some example, in case you guys are in a rush and your phone's actually out of
30
battery,
minutos,
after just a few minutes of
85%.
washing up, for me it probably takes 5 to 6 minutes, you can charge up to the phone up to 25%. A 15-minute breakfast will have your phone charge up to 50%. And a 30-minute workout while you leave your phone charging will get it up to 85%. Charging is just so easy with the X4 GT. But for our gamers, there's another scenario. This is a performance phone after all, so we're not going to forget our gamers. As a gamer
No puedo
myself,
jugar.
I often hear this. oh, I'm out of battery. I can't play. You guys go ahead without me. I need to charge my phone for a bit. But with POCO X4 GT, we want to get rid of these moments. Because after just 10 minutes of charging, you can actually get up to 93 minutes of gaming. That's absolutely shocking. And after a full charge on the X4 GT, will get you hundreds of hours of entertainment. So you'll have a blast using this phone.
26 horas de lectura en el teléfono.
So this is our POCO X4 GT's battery and charging, combining a massive
Sí,
5080 milliamp 2-day
pero,
battery with 67 watt turbo charging that can charge up to 100%
Pero,
in just 46 minutes. This
Fuck.
incredible combination is enabled by MMT technology, and this is how we let you game for over 90 minutes after just 10 minutes of charging. So we've talked about performance, display, and charging, which are the focus point of our no speed limited. POCO X4 GT is a device designed to give you incredible specs in all of these categories. The Dimensity 8100 chipset, the 144Hz dynamic switch display, the 67 watt turbocharging with a big battery.
Ese detalle no es
This
importante,
is a
Rafael.
combination that gives you speed without any compromises. But next up, let's talk about design and experience. We definitely didn't forget about this. In fact, we made huge efforts for our daily users and gamers. But first, let's take a look at some color options. First, we have the black on the POCO X4 GT. Classic, never out of fashion.
Black.
With our new straight frame design, it looks premium and it feels
Pues,
premium.
feo no es,
Next up, silver, a dashing silver color with a little bit of glow. It's almost seen as white if it's under the bright light, but it can also shine very, very well in dark environments. And lastly, blue.
Blue.
Now, this blue is a little bit different from the previous blue that was featured in X series before. For this one, we've made it lighter, more elegant, more fresh, and youthful. I honestly love this blue. This might be the favorite color of the three for me. And with 3 color options, it has an all-new design with a shiny gradient that gives off just a little bit of flair, but always stay classy and elegant. The color
Classy
options
y
are great,
elegant.
and let us know in the comments below which one you prefer. Now, besides looking good, right, we gotta also make sure we feel good. So we also made a first attempt on changing the aspect ratio of the phone. It's actually POCO's first smartphone with a 20.5:9 aspect ratio, which means a
Narrower
narrow
body,
body that feels
better
better
hand
when
feel.
used with one hand. Now, we
Sienta
all have
mejor en
those
la
moments
mano.
where we want to use
Les
one
digo,
hand
son
to
puras
text.
cosas
I
que
often
van a
do it
utilizar
in
en las
meetings,
reviews.
sending quick messages while pretending I'm actually listening. But having this aspect
Como que les hacen
ratio,
el paro.
this makes it really easy. And of course, the legendary fan favorite feature is back. We're giving you the 3.5mm headphone jack so you can plug in your wired headphones without needing any annoying adapters or dongles. But if you don't want to use headphones, the X4 GT also comes with a powerful dual speakers, and we make sure this will give you an immersive audio experience with support from Dolby Atmos as well as high-res audio and high-res audio wireless. And to round out the overall experience, the X4 GT also comes with the X-axis linear motor that gives you a shorter, crisper, and more realistic vibrations, whether you're typing or playing games. So this is our POCO X4 GT's design experience. A new straight frame design that comes in 3 colors.
De altísima
All new
calidad.
20.5:9 aspect ratio for better hand feel and better one-hand usage. Dual speakers for support of Dolby Atmos and high-res audio and high-res audio wireless. Of course, also the headphone jack for when you need it.
No te
Lastly,
preocupes,
camera on the
LRC.
POCO X4 GT.
En la siguiente semana vas a tener el
Let's
POCO
dive right in.
X5. Y
The
ya,
X4
güey.
GT also comes with a triple camera setup that
Va a
allows
ser el
you to
mismo
capture
caso.
clear and detailed shots. Whether you're using the 64 megapixel main camera, the ultra wide lens, or the macro camera. Let's take a look at the GT's camera in action. First, we have some 64 megapixel shot where it captured the model so well. The beautiful sky in the background along the architecture is absolutely beautiful. And the X4 GT captured it clear and crisp and colorful. And when we bring it to the night environment,
Ni
just
idea,
look
Rafael.
at how stunning this photo is. All the lighting captured perfectly. the reflection of the building on the water surface is such a nice detail.
¿Por qué se ven tan raras las orillas
And
en la
when you
foto?
want to go to an even darker environment with cool lighting effects, turn on night mode, and you can probably play with something that can be a cyberpunk feel to it. And of course, ultra wide, that makes picture just look more grand and give that
Sí,
wow
¿verdad?
effect. I think ultra wide lens is definitely the lens I use most because it's just so handy. And then there's macro shots, and in this case, we just took a simple shot of some water droplets. Something you can do at home and take creative content like this. And then we have those occasional selfie shots where we ensure you look good and fresh. Great for any social media profile picture. But besides all those photo modes, the POCO X4 GT is still very capable on software. Whether you still want to use 4K mode, long exposure shots, time-lapse video, and vlogs, all these functions is here to
Atigatsu.
let you break your
Yo
limits
ahorita no
of being
ando
creative on social
consumiendo
media
Xiaomi.
space or just simply maintaining your best memories in life. This is our POCO
Sí,
X4
parecía
GT,
como de un
a
videojuego.
device that takes you beyond the limits of speed. With one of the fastest and most anticipated processors of 2022, the MediaTek Dimensity 8100, supported by high-speed LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage, POCO's fastest 144Hz refresh rate display, capable of over 1 billion colors, as well as currently, what I believe, the best LCD display on the market, as well as 67-watt turbocharging paired with a massive battery. And all of these incredible specs will run on MIUI 13 based off Android 12 out of the box. So when we come back to this, we're way past any limits of the segment with the 3 speed pillars. This is our POCO X4 GT, no speed limited. And how much will it cost? I'm sure this is a question you guys been asking probably ever since the performance section. But before we get to that, let's first see how POCO X4 GT holds up against the competition. Now you can see in most features, we stand above and beyond. Better processor, better display, flagship refresh rate, and touch sampling rate. Now they're priced at around 580 euros starting, and that's a pretty high price tag. Meanwhile, the POCO X4 GT, for our
Otra vez tu
first
teléfono,
option
sir.
of 8GB plus 128GB RAM and storage, we have a price of 379 euros. 379 euros for a Dimensity 8100 chipset. That's extreme value. But let's also check out the early bird. 299 euros. 299 euros. Yes, we are thriving to be one of the most affordable smartphone that pairs Dimensity 8100. Super aggressive pricing right here. But before we go on, let's check out the high variant. 8GB plus 256GB RAM and storage. It will cost 429 euros. Honestly, this is already a flagship performance speed
10,000
expert
pesitos.
with an unbelievable price. And the early bird goes for 349 euros. So for those gamers out there, if you want an affordable speedster, this is the one for you. So when we come back to this, and you can see in the quasi-flagship segment devices, we are better
No,
in
que
almost
depende,
every
Luis.
single
Todo
category,
depende de
but priced at
qué tan
half.
reflectivo es el panel.
Half. This year, we have been super aggressive with our pricing, and it still continues with the POCO X4 GT. The POCO X4 GT will be first sold on both platforms, also starting from June 27th to
Poco
July
Store,
7th. For lots of the channels, 618
Shopee.
sales is coming up.
Shopee.
The early bird is our best promotion for you on this sale holiday. Channel availability may vary between markets, so don't miss out. But there will be more platforms coming. Again, make sure to follow our official accounts in your region to stay up to date on when will the X4 GT be available. Now, this was the POCO X4 GT. No speed limited. Speeding into your hand for just these prices. Fast processor,
Euros.
fast display, fast
Euros.
charging. This is a device that gives you the speed with no limits, without compromise. Today, we brought 2 amazing devices to you. The POCO F4, the modern all-around flagship benchmark that has all the strengths, tailored to those who want an affordable flagship device. The POCO X4 GT, a performance-driven quasi-flagship that has no speed limited, tailored for those purely who wants fast performance, display, and charging. I'm sure you guys will probably want one of the two, or you can get both of them. That's all for today. As always, it's good to be here. It was a blast to present those two amazing products. Stay well, enjoy the summer, and I'll see you next time.
Se acabó. Opiniones, chavos.
Hello everyone, my name is Angus and I'm the head of product marketing at POCO Global. Now, as some of you may know, today we are launching an F-Series. And to remind everyone, F-Series is all about bringing flagship experience and performance for our users at an aggressive pricing. Introducing the POCO F4. Another F-Series legend arrives today. POCO F4, aiming to be the flagship benchmark, it has to have all the strengths. Compared to the previous F-Series models, the F4 is more all-around than ever before. So we start with performance. To be a flagship benchmark, at the very core of it has to be flagship performance. We have to be very strong in it. For our POCO F4, we will be bringing back the Snapdragon 870. With it being one of the best processors among the market yet, it can still handle any task you throw at it.
Pues
Improving sustained peak
lo que
performance
pasa
on the
es
POCO
que no es
F4.
cada año, bro. Estamos
We've
hablando de cada
installed liquid cool technology
unos
2.0,
cuantos
which
meses.
is one of the best liquid cool solutions we have within all of our product lineups. So when we come back to this, featuring the Snapdragon 870, LPDDR5 RAM,
Bueno,
and
chavos,
UFS 3.1
pues
ROM, and liquid
dejo
cool
el video
technology
arriba
2.0,
y
this is what
gracias
we mean by
por la
strengths
compañía
and performance.
en estos
The
aburridas
4,500
presentaciones.
milliamp battery in the POCO F4. Where
A ver si
under
puedo
modern
dormir algo.
usage, it's still a 2-day battery life. On the POCO F4, we're bringing 67-watt turbocharging technology, a flagship level technology where it can really boost your charging speeds even more so than before. It only takes 38 minutes to charge up to 100%. Because even with all those components, our POCO F4, it's super thin. Only a 7.7 millimeter, making it still our thinnest POCO smartphone yet.
Adiós.
And it only weighs 195 grams. The overall design